is me, Shua, and once again it's time for another episode of the Bible, and this is an atheist point of view. I am just that atheist. Shua, that's my name. Yeah, short for Joshua. I am reading the Bible one chapter at a time and one chapter per video. From this cover to this cover. For the best reason of all is I laugh my ass off every single fucking time I do. Really, I do. You watch, you'll see. Anyways, before we go ahead and start reading, we need a little music in the background to set the mood. You understand. Okay, now, where I left off is Joshua, chapter 4. Let's read. Verse 1. When all the nation had finished passing over the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, take the 12 men from the people, from each tribe of a man. Each tribe of a man. And commanded them, saying, take 12 stones from here, out of the midst of the Jordan, from the very place where the priest's feet stood firmly, and bring them over with you and lay them down in the place where you lodge tonight. Why? Grab a rock and bring it with you, you know, it make the journey more difficult. Verse 4, because God's a dick like that. Verse 4, when Joshua called the 12 men from the people of Israel, whom he had appointed, a man from each tribe. Verse 5, and Joshua said to them, pass on before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan, and take up each of you a stone upon its shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the people of Israel. Verse 6, at this may be a sign among you, when your children ask in time to come, what do those stones mean to you? I'd say anywhere between 50 to 100 pounds, that's what they mean to me. What does it mean to get stoned? Well, verse 7, then you shall tell them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. Cut off. Just like that. Just like your foreskin. Cut off. So these stones shall be to the people of Israel a memorial forever. And yes, they have to carry them too. Verse 8, and the people of Israel did just as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of the Jordan, according to the number of tribes of the people of Israel, just as the Lord told Joshua. The Lord. And they carried them over with them to the place where they lodged and laid them down there. They slept on them. They played rock Jenga. Verse 9, and Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of the Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests bearing the ark of the covenant had stood, and they are there to this day. Sure they are. There's an exhibit. They validate parking. Verse 10, for the priest bearing the ark stood in the midst of the Jordan until everything was finished that the Lord commanded Joshua to tell the people. Because the Lord won't tell everybody, that would be too much, right? That would be too easy. Let's just tell one guy. Just find one crazy motherfucker. According to all that Moses had commanded Joshua, the people passed over in haste. Hateful bastards. Verse 11, and when all the people had finished passing over the ark of the Lord, and the priest passed over before the people, set my people free. Verse 12, the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh, only half of them could make it, passed over arms before the people of Israel, as Moses had told them. Arms? They had guns back then? Verse 13, about 40,000 ready for war passed over before the Lord for battle to the plains of Jericho. Verse 14, 40,000? Probably more like 40. Verse 14, on that day the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they stood in awe of him, just as they had stood in awe of Moses. All the days of his life, we were so in awe, dude. You're awesome, and we're in awe. Verse 15, and the Lord said to Joshua, and only Joshua. Verse 16, command the priests bearing the ark of the testimony to come up out of the Jordan. Do it now. Do it quickly. Verse 17, so Joshua commanded the priests, come on up out of the Jordan. Wow, that wasn't very suspenseful. That's horrible acting, Joshua. Verse 18, and when the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of the Lord came up from the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were filled up on dry ground. Huh? Whatever. The waters of the Jordan returned to their place and overflowed all its banks as before. Alrighty then. Verse 19. The people came up out of the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, because they had calendars back then. They all said BC on them, right? And they encamped at Gilgal. Gilgal? Fuck. On the east border of Jericho. Gilgal. Verse 20, and those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan, Joshua set up at Gilgal. I like my gals with gills. Verse 21. Verse 21, and he said to the people of Israel, when your children ask their fathers in times to come, what do these stones mean? Your reply will be, not a fucking clue. But seriously, verse 22, then you shall let the children know Israel passed over this Jordan on dry ground. I promise I can talk. Really. Dry ground. Verse 23, for the Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan for you until you passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea. Well, ain't that just something? Which he dried up for us until we passed over. Verse 24, so that all the peoples of the earth, fuck off, shut up, may know that the hand of the Lord is mightier than you may fear the Lord for God. Fear the Lord your God forever. Isn't that a nice fitting ending to that? But Lord is almighty, that you may fear your Lord and God. Fuck off. Well, kids, once again, this is Shua, and this has been the Bible and an atheist point of view.